Oh, hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Uffsides NFL podcast, and Leanne in the booth is now fired. I'm Matt Ufford. I'm under the weather. Please excuse my horrendous voice. With me in the SB Nation studios in Manhattan is Nick Stevens, comedian slash entertainer slash many other things. You may know him on the internet as Paul Fitzy Fitzgerald, the Boston Superfan. Nick, welcome.
Pleasure to be here, dude. I'm wicked psyched.
You can be Nick, please.
Oh, thank goodness. The Boston veil has been dropped. I don't think you sound under the weather at all.
I feel definitely like the voice is not quite there, and I'm a little bit raspy. I missed a day at work 6 days ago, and I'm still trying to kick this.
And you call yourself a sports fan?
Yeah, it's clearly too weak. If Nick happens to look familiar to you, you might also have seen him on Dream Job on ESPN years ago. And he now runs a CBS Sports web series called Tailgate Fan.
That's right.
You're also a new father, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How old is your son?
He is 6 days old, and obviously I am displaying fantastic paternal instincts by abandoning my child like Daniel Day-Lewis's character in Cold Blood, There Will Be Blood, so I can come in and talk football with you.
It beats changing diapers.
Yeah, it does. I think I changed 11 diapers yesterday.
Good God.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing your wife did half of them, too.
No.
No?
It was all me.
Wow.
Yeah, she's laid up a little bit, so I'm on daddy diaper duty.
Wow.
You really do. Like, people that play sports and people that talk sports really think they know what it's like to be a man. You're really not into it until you're really in the stink for like a dozen diapers over the course of a day.
My God.
It's pretty amazing.
I definitely don't want to have kids for a couple of years.
I recommend enjoying marital bliss and your sweet, sweet freedom for as long as you can. This right here, this is the presentation of a cumulative 17 hours of sleep over the last 10 days.
Good God.
Yeah.
That's, I was part of the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003, and I believe that over a 10-day period, I slept 20 hours. So you've actually got me beat.
I got you beat by 3 hours.
Yeah. It's actually more trying than combat.
Bucket list. Beat Ufford on check. It's pretty crazy, man, but it's amazing. It really, really is.
Yeah. Also, we should probably, full disclosure here, Nick is more or less neighbors with me. We're Park Slope residents.
That's right. We're neighbors, and now I am officially part of why people go out there / what'll potentially be a nuisance to you. I am in the stroller derby, as they like to call the Park Slope.
Yeah. I run into you in the neighborhood more so than anybody else. That I probably run into you like every 2 months or so. We're just always crossing paths.
Yeah, I know. One of us either owes the other like a free cup of coffee or a free pizza because I keep punching my Ufford card like every 2 to 3 months. I run into you like, hey, I'm just getting sushi. I'm hungover drinking coffee. I'm hungover drinking coffee after I got sushi.
Yeah.
Park Slope.
That's how it goes. And I usually have my dog with me just to check that box.
You do have one of the greatest dogs.
She's pretty great.
This makes great sports radio, by the way.
This is fantastic.
Good seeing you. Hey, guys. Welcome back to Uffsides. How you been?
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk NFL headlines. We've got the offseason calendars in full swing.
Right.
Run over some of the main dates. The Combine starts tomorrow. Franchise tag window opened yesterday.
Tag it.
Free agency starts March 12th, and then this all culminates in the biggest of non-events, the draft, April 25th through 27th.
I love the NFL draft.
It's fun.
It is. It is just the release of all of your pent-up angst and football frustration that you have. Like, I like to refer to February and the time just after the Super Bowl, like basically post-Super Bowl leading up to opening day of baseball. I call that like the taint of the sports year.
Yep.
It's the bleak sports midwinter.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm sorry. The middle of the NHL season, middle of basketball.
August is pretty terrible too, but at least you have like NFL training camp and like the opportunity to go outside.
Yes. The beach.
Yes.
Cocktails. Fantasy drafts, if you will.
Yep.
But now,
no.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we cling on to things like the Combine. Well, I can wait to find out how many ring doodles somebody's able to touch when they try and do the standing broad jump, or how much faster Rich Eisen is when he runs the 40 this year in his wingtips.
Hang him up, Rich.
Come on.
Hang him up.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
That's officially... I'm past that and done with that. Free agency and the franchise tag, though, that actually is kind of fun because that's almost like the NFL's version of playing fantasy football, moving chips around, making crazy moves, who's going to go where, and you find that a lot of the general managers in the NFL muckety mucks and brass don't tend to be as risky with their rosters as guys like you and me who control binary digital pieces.
Let me ask you, you're obviously a Pats fan. What do you want to see out of the Pats draft or offseason? Where's the weakness that you want the team to target?
I'm just now coming out of the cave of sorrow that I was in for a while.
That loss to the Ravens. If the Patriots had only shown up for the second half, they might have won the game.
Yeah, and I heard you taking the Pats to task on the podcast with John Elway. And by the way, might I say, from Elway to Stevens, nice upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not bad. Talk about pulling a Mercedes on the lot and driving away with a Yugo. I would like to see all of my fears and concerns about the Patriots, and I know everybody doesn't want to hear a Pats fan have concerns or, oh, you've had it so tough, only 5 Super Bowls and 3 wins. What am I supposed to do? Not be interested in how the team does? Not root for them anymore?
Of course.
Just sort of sit back and say, yeah, you're right. I'll check back in 5 or 10 years.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see an 8-8 season.
Yeah. You know what would really do this team good? 7-9, and knock them down a couple of pigs. That's every Jets fan's dream, and that's probably how they'll finish the season this year. I would like to see the Patriots, having seen the way they played in that second half, realizing all of our worst fears, that they could be exposed by the tight ends. Like Dennis Pitta just absolutely ate the Patriots for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in that second half. They have guys like Marquise Cole coming in as reserve secondary duty, passing over Patrick Chung. Like, they just got mauled. There was no tough. Nobody was there in the secondary or anywhere on that defense in the second half to just take a 15-yarder, clean someone's clock the way that Bernard Pollard almost absolutely
does every single time they play the Patriots.
He almost ended Stephen Ridley there. He almost deaded him with that helmet-to-helmet.
No, he was out cold.
That man is kryptonite to the neurological functions and the ligaments of the New England Patriots. I don't want him coming anywhere within 500 miles of Gillette Stadium ever again. But the Patriots lack that. Like, they used to have guys like I like to call him HGH, Human Growth Harrison, Rodney Harrison. He was a tough guy. I know, but one of the most reviled players in football. But he ran the back of the defense.
Gets the job done.
Got the job done, orchestrated the calls, and he was tough. People feared going over the middle or going deep on Rodney Harrison because they were going to pay for it. Early on, when they started their Super Bowl run in 2001, when Belichick was basically making dinner with the groceries that were purchased by Pete Carroll and Bobby Greer, which he took a lot of credit for, they were running a really tough defense, and he brought in some of these piecemeal veteran guys like Brian Cox. And all they had to do was once a game, like a goon in hockey, go out, lay somebody out, and then all of a sudden, all right, we can't take advantage of the Patriots the way we thought we could. And now we're soft. So I would love to see them get tough in the back end of the defense.
Let's talk the franchise tag. Mm-hmm. Well, it's come out that they're not going to tag Welker for a second year. That would cost them $11.5 million.
That's official.
That's that's what either the Globe or Herald's reporting. The Patriots are not going to tag Welker a second time, so they're hoping to get a deal done with him apparently.
Right.
So who would you like the Patriots to tag? I think that they're talking Sebastian Vollmer, the right tackle, or Aqib Talib would cost them around $10 million.
Knowing the personality of Aqib Talib and the way that he behaved before getting to New England, I know he quote-unquote drank the Kool-Aid. I apologize. That's one of the worst sports cliches.
It works.
I just brought us to mid-band AM on that one. Sorry about that. I gave it 110%, though.
There you go. You did.
Tagging Talib, $10.8 million or something like that, that's just a crazy amount of money to give a guy that was, albeit talented on the field, just a complete distraction and sideshow off the field more often than not. Almost $10 million for Vollmer seems like a lot of money for a guy with back issues. And Welker at $11.5. It's too much money for a slot guy. I know he keeps getting the slot tag, and come on, dude, Welker's the heart and soul of the Patriots. They got to keep him around there, right? I mean, that's Tom Brady's favorite receiver.
Yeah.
Everybody loves White Wes Welker. But it's too much money to give a guy who's on the early side of his 30s, who has taken so many big hits. Like, half the time Welker plays a game, I would expect when the end credits roll, it's going to say directed by Mel Gibson. He takes such a whipping on the field. He gets crushed and yet still gets up. It's going to have to come to toll at some point. He's going to have to pay for all those big hits, and it's going to be pretty soon, I think.
You and I are both in our 30s, and the average activity started becoming very difficult around age 33.
Right.
Is when I thought my body started falling apart.
Yeah,
32, 33. Yeah.
Knee aches.
Yeah. I can't run anymore because of my knee.
Two snoozes getting out of bed in the morning, missing a day of work for a cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think Wes Welker would miss a day of work because he had a cold?
Now that he's in his 30s, he might.
I would like to see them keep him though. I'd like to see them keep Vollmer and Welker at pretty much whatever the cost need be. Welker is also kind of due a little money from the Pats. I know that's not what they do.
Yeah.
But he played out his first 5-year deal for $18 million. Got tagged last year. Got $9.5 million. So he's been paid a little over $4.5 million a year for 6 years. And in that time, the Patriots have the most wins in the NFL, the most Super Bowl appearances in the NFL, the most Super Bowl losses in the NFL, and the highest scoring offense. So it would stand to reason that maybe he's an integral part of the offense.
I feel like he's at least a smallish cog of that.
Just a small 110 catches from that guy every year.
That's ridiculous.
Do you think about how awesome Belichick's draft was in 2007? I don't even know who we drafted. I think it was Big Bang Clock or whatever his name was, Brandon Merriweather. He got Welker for a second and Moss for a fourth.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
that was a pretty good draft.
Those guys panned out.
Pretty good trade. That panned out okay. Yeah.
I want to talk about when you're paying attention to the NFL offseason, you get a lot of fluff stories. I want to talk about the Cowboys Team Bus that they've got. It's not actually a team bus. It's what Jerry Jones rides around and does business in. They've got a new, it cost them about $2.5 million. The bus is called the Elegant Lady. It's up on the monitor there.
That cost $2.5 million?
Well, the inside, if we can go to the inside pictures, there are 9 flat screen TVs, 1 on the outside for tailgating, 3 couches, 5 chairs, and seats 20 comfortably.
Wow.
There's also Tiffany crystals and marble countertops.
Because you want to make the right impression on any given Sunday.
Yeah. I also like that it's called the Elegant Lady because that describes no woman that I'd ever see on Jerry Jones's hip. Like,
right.
I see, like, leathery, like fake boobs, like fake blonde woman.
Like when you see women with Jerry Jones, you're trying to figure out like, I wonder what has been stretched tighter, his wallet, the skin on her boobs, or on his face.
Yeah. No, it's
the Elegant Lady. Love it.
He's like Jerry Buss with like slightly like less refined taste.
It's amazing to think how he still is not in on the joke as to how gaudy we all think the Cowboys run. Like, he's been living this like late 90s life of excess.
Oh yeah.
Where he looks like he's living like he looks like he thinks he's the cool white guy that was invited into a rap video. And like that was fun 15 years ago, and he's still living that way.
He is coming next year to Dallas. Diamond cleats on the Cowboys players.
Diamond cleats?
I'm sure of it.
Sure. Listen, no blood diamonds were harvested during the making of these cleats.
Of course not. Actually,
Phil Knight would approve.
I feel like Jerry Jones would make sure that they were blood diamonds.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if people died.
That's one team in the NFL that continues to blow my mind. I have no idea how they are not able to get it together every year. They've got as much talent, as much money, as many resources. He basically just says, he's like the worst dad ever. It's like sending your kids to school and just saying like, whatever, like, y'all just go get whatever you want, whatever y'all need, whatever you need, just go do it. And you breed this culture of where everyone's just so spoiled and they think that they're pretty much just privileged. It's like a silver spoon society that he's created. But they've got all this talent on the field, and the best they can do every year is 9-7.
Well, it's because Jerry Jones still treats himself as the general manager. They don't have a real general manager. And yes, I know that he played like college football at Arkansas with Jimmy Johnson, but that was also 50 years ago. And it's like, well, maybe someone with like some modern capabilities, a way of looking at things in the new Moneyball era. Yeah, maybe get some guys who recent personnel guys,
right?
And then maybe they'll spend their money a little bit more wisely. It's under the cap, you can only do so much. You have to draft smarter. You have to manage smarter.
No, I just would not want to work in a culture where the same guy that owns the team is also the guy who thinks that he runs the team. No. You know what that's like.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about Nick Stevens.
Oh,
let's shift. Obviously, from the Boston area,
yes, sir.
Braintree, I believe.
Braintree, Mass, about 15 miles south of Boston.
We of course were talking beforehand. We've got some Boston area crew members here. Leanne's giving us the thumbs up from the booth.
That's not how we greet each other in Boston, Leanne. Switch that thumb to the one somewhere between the ring and the index, and come on. That's your typical greeting in Massachusetts. How were you raised? How was your life growing up, and how'd you end up
here today?
Took the subway.
Okay, that's a good start.
It's the 2-3 train. How did I end up here today? It's a strange hodgepodge of I grew up as a kid backstage. My parents were both actors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. For so many reasons. I grew up basically backstage of community theater, and you grow up in the suburbs of Boston in the 70s and 80s. Like, I'm around a lot of gregarious, highly conversational, artistic adults who all have Waiting for Guffman-esque dreams. So I was exposed to high comedy in the mockumentary format at a very early age. Yeah. Plus, my dad was a gambler and a sports fan. So, no, I kid you not.
And a community actor and a gambler?
Hold on. It gets better, Matt.
Silver spoon.
What if I told you that my dad was not only a community theater director and a gambler, but also a traveling salesman? I kid you not. I honest to God, I love my dad to death, but with all due respect and deference to the man who bore me, my dad is basically Zero Mostel with a splash of Willie Loman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just tragic, a tragic businessman with a heart of gold who just always thought he was the biggest fish in the world's smallest friggin' pond.
Oh man,
yeah.
I just took a turn for the tragic.
And in a nutshell, in essence, when you grow up as a fat kid in Boston who plays violin and likes theater productions, but at the same time is into sports, you get made fun of enough. Is that for either of us?
That's the studio's not in the best part of Manhattan.
I was just gonna say, if you need me to float you a 20 to get some egg crates to soundproof the studio, you're good for it. I'll run into you in the neighborhood.
And that's why we're moving studios.
Dude, we'll get some beers. Yeah, I mean, like, growing up in Boston, the crazy parents that I had, big sports fan. You can't grow up around there in the age before the Red Sox became, really
a good team.
A good team, and the whole douchey Boston sports fan thing.
Sure. There was some charm about you.
There was a little charm. Like, for example, something that kind of says a lot about the way that I was raised. I was so into the Red Sox growing up in this tragic dinner theater salesman household. I was so upset when the Red Sox lost Game 7 of the 1986 World Series that my mother let me stay home from school the next day. And she wrote a Juan Epstein's mom-style note that said, "Please excuse Nick from missing school today. He needed a day of bereavement."
Nice.
Yeah, I actually got to stay home. In high school, I tried to play football. I love to talk football, live, eat, breathe, sleep, drink football, just like yourself. Couldn't really play it, though. Not because I'm just an overgrown man-child with ladylike sensibilities, but more so that my head was so big they couldn't find a helmet big enough to fit me.
Really?
Yeah.
I played a little bit growing up, but it was mostly throwing a football to myself in the backyard.
Oh, what I would give to see a GIF of that over and over again. One day I'm gonna get some friends. One day
I caught a lot of diving touchdowns for myself. It was great.
You really do not know the back end of true towny humiliation. Unless you can remember the day that you're like 250 pounds, big old head of hair, bar mitzvah mustache, just full-blown pubescence, and they finally get you a helmet big enough to play football, and it's white, and you run out in the field, and somebody yells from the back of the huddle as they see you take the field for the first time in your tortured adolescence, "Dude, look, it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man."
Very clever of them.
Yeah. So, cut to 20-something years later. I basically cut my teeth doing alternative comedy in the Lower East Side in New York. I've worked in internet production, hosted some TV shows, done interstitials, stand-up comedy. I worked on radio here on a rock station for a couple of years as like the faux sports update guy. So, in a perfect world, I love what you guys do here. To somehow be able to find a place and way to be able to kind of do sports with a comedic bent on the internet, maybe on radio, maybe a little television, and not have everyone go, "Oh, great, is this going to be someone else's attempt at doing the Daily Show but for sports?" I still think it can be done.
It's nobody has done it yet, and they've put such big resources for it. I thought Norm Macdonald's show was pretty good.
Right. Some of your buddies worked on that, right?
Yeah. Well, they tried their hands at writing for it, but they ended up not choosing not to do it. But yeah, no, I think that was a good one. But it's hard because there's a limited audience for sports fans who are also would like that smart humor.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just them eating up what Rob Riggle or whoever is. I like Rob Riggle too, but what he does for CBS is not, or is it Fox?
Well, it's one of them. It's Fox. He replaced Caliendo.
Yeah, and that's unwatchable to me.
How do you feel if you're Frank Caliendo these days? Wow, this is what they replaced me with?
I guess he's just eating a lot.
I guess
he's sad eating.
But he really still does that great John Madden, and you can't tell the difference.
It's a really good John Madden.
It's a hell of a John Madden.
Yeah, that's it. He built his career on it, and that's all his career.
That's all you need, a little gimmick. Somebody, I think, in doing the Fitzy character, and the Fitzy character was basically just born of the idea, like, when I was doing stand-up on my own, it really was not very good at all. It was pretty terrible. Okay, it was awful. But I kind of always thought, like, what I think would be funny would be, like, to try to talk both completely idiotic and yet hyper-intelligent in the voice of that drunken guy who sits 3 rows behind you at Fenway. Oh, yeah. And half the time you're like, God, I want to punch this guy in the face. Also, 40 to 50% of what he's saying is pretty funny and true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's I've definitely been by those Red Sox fans, and like some of them are just like stupid drunken louts, but then like there is like they have moments of clarity where you're like, okay, that was pretty funny and also true.
Yeah, gotta give it up for you there. That was actually pretty funny. So I just thought it would be funny, and then ultimately ironic doing it here in New York, and people took to it. It was like, hey, we all know that guy, and I picked his name as Fitzy because you can't go to any Boston bar or Boston sporting event without being around a Fitzy, a Sully, or a Murph.
Yep.
So I just picked the Fitzy, and to this day it's fun. I would refer to it as if I am Dr. Jekyll, Fitzy is my Boston sports Mr. Hyde.
You once told me that like Boston fans got upset that you lived in New York City.
Hugely so, enormously so. If I have the time, and since I'm going to be home basically on burp cloth and diaper duty for the next several months, I'm probably going to go through all those emails and find like the 10 best. I was told to put so many inappropriate things in my mouth and take them down to hell when so many Boston sports fans found out that I lived in New York. I couldn't believe it. Like, here I have been spending all this time entertaining these people and trying to open their eyes to some random truths and make them feel good about the fact that they basically just eat, drink, and sleep their way through life and, rooting for the Red Sox. And now all of a sudden, they find out I live in New York, and it's like, you probably have a Mo Rivera jersey and you cheat his boyfriend. Go drink some water coolers with Rodriguez, you freak.
Only they don't say freak.
Yeah, no, they don't. I censored that for the good name of Uffsides.
I appreciate that. I think that you should just come back with me like, who else lives in New York City? Tommy Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, you know who else has a flat in the West Village, that tough guy? Tom F. Brady. Work it out. Yeah, he and Yoko Bunchin. They West Village it. I've seen them. You know what else he does? He eats poached eggs and throws touchdowns.
And they're delicious.
They are.
Both the eggs and the touchdowns.
Both the eggs and touchdowns.
I'm afraid that we got to move on a little bit. I want to get to a couple reader questions. The troll bag, as we call it.
Yes.
These are from I won't say they're real people, but they definitely have Twitter accounts. Jonathan asked, "Are the Pats the evil empire or the evilest empire?"
Would the Patriots be the evil empire or the evilest empire? I think they would be the evil empire of the NFL. And I'm completely okay with it. I'm completely 100% okay and in full alignment with the Patriots being the enemy of football. For every time I get upset when people try to bust my chops and bust my footballs about rooting for the Pats, somebody will always remind me, like, it's okay. We'd like to be in your position because nobody makes fun of our team because we suck. So it's better to be relevant and be envied and be hated as the evil empire, I feel like now, than completely irrelevant. Back in the 20 years ago when we were going to get sold off to play in St. Louis and it was Tommy Hodson throwing footballs coached by Rod Rust. Like, there was
I don't know who those people are.
Yeah, no, that's real. That actually happened. It was the disgrace of the NFL. So now to be as manipulative and evil as they are, I think 99% of the people hate the Patriots just because of Belichick. But
yeah. Oh yeah, I actually don't mind the Patriots just because I know more Boston fans like you than Fitzy, for example, and I think that they're actually fun to watch. Like it's fun to watch Tom Brady run that offense. It's entertaining.
They're competitive every year. How can you complain about that?
So I mean, maybe if I'm a Jets fan, I could complain, or a Bills fan, I could complain. But I'm not, so screw them.
No, Matt, at the end of this podcast, regardless of what great recognitions we come to, and if nothing else, we're still not Jets fans. Walk comfortably in those shoes, my friend.
I do feel that there's there's a position when your team is consistently excellent along the lines of the Patriots or say in baseball the Yankees, that there's you're only punished for being self-aware. Like the best way to be a fan is just to be like the Yankees fan, be like, yeah, we get the rings every year, and they're just like so annoying and like no self-awareness. Like they're so disappointed if they don't get to if it's anything less than a World Series ring, they're completely disappointed. An ALCS loss, I'm so ashamed. And it's just like, that's the way to live. It's just stupid and unaware of how unhappy everybody is every single year.
I wonder sometimes, this may just speak to a broader topic, and maybe it's bigger, but it definitely applies to sports. Do you wonder sometimes, would it be more fun to just go through life completely unaware and stupid?
If I were really good looking, yes.
Yeah. If you were super good looking and your muscles had muscles and money was not an object.
Oh, it'd be great to be dumb.
Oh God, it would be so fun to be stupid. And I mean, like, stupid.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm like super smart or anything, but I can at least read and watch. I mean, I watch Breaking Bad. How dumb can I be? Right.
Right. Exactly. That is pretty much the litmus marker by which most people gauge intelligence in 21st century America.
Yeah. I've got taste. I watch Mad Men. I know what's up.
You're Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
That's pretty good.
I love that show.
Next question.
Yes.
This is from Brian. He says, "How would you rate Wes Welker's skin? Whole milk, Taylor Swift, or Irish?"
Didn't see that one coming.
No.
First of all, hi, Brian. First time, long time. How would I... Wes Welker's skin. What was my third option again?
Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays in Boston. Dude, he's Irish.
Even though he's Oklahoman.
Even though he is an Oklahoman. I would say that Welker's skin is pretty Irish. He's often unshaven. Yeah. He's got those dreamy blue eyes you can get lost in for a while, right? You saw them once before, right?
Yeah, I did. I interviewed about that during the new Nike uniforms, the unveiling of those, and he was taken aback by my complimenting his beautiful blue eyes. Says, "Are cornerbacks ever distracted by your blue eyes?" And I left, and he was like, "Did that guy just hit on me?"
I was unaware that...
For the record, I wasn't. I'm comfortable in who I am.
But at the same time, there are certain men that if you see them or if you were around them, like you being a Seahawks fan, if you saw Russell Wilson, given the amazing season he put on and the fact that, well, let's be honest, he's a little mansome.
He is. He's good.
You might pause. You might take pause. You may be a little stutter in your step.
I did. I got the chance to interview him at the Super Bowl, actually.
Come on.
I did. And I had the handshake. Like my hands were trembling a little bit. Not because I was nervous, but because I was so excited. And we ended the interview with like the post touchdown run and shoulder bump.
Nice.
I did that with Russell Wilson.
Did he give you a Go Hawks at the end?
He did.
Oh,
he's so charming.
I love that.
Yeah,
that thing is so good. Graduate of the Stanford Cardinal, married, so well spoken, an erudite guy who also can escape the pocket as well as anyone else in the NFL and throws that ball on a dime.
Oh, I have never seen. He's the first Seahawks quarterback I've ever seen that actually can throw the ball downfield with accuracy. It's amazing. Just gone my entire life without thinking that a quarterback on the Seahawks can do that.
Yeah, he's like the size of Danny Woodhead with a tan, and he's got a gun, and and no one saw that happening. I remember when he tore up Kansas City in the preseason, and people were like, "Is this guy really going to get that job? Come on, they get all that money." And Matt Flynn,
and I was
tall guy.
I was pro Matt Flynn too.
Everyone was, right?
I was like, it's just because the Chiefs are really bad, especially when he had a slow first 4 weeks. And I was like, oh, man, the Seahawks are going to pay the price for starting Russell Wilson this year. No, I actually don't know that much about the NFL.
They did pay the price. The price was getting all the way to the semifinals in the NFC. And, we were deprived. That's the NFC Championship next year.
Yeah, Niners and Seahawks.
I know you raised a cartoonishly angry fist. Mendoza! Why did that? It's so close.
Yeah.
They'll definitely get back there.
I certainly hope so.
And that's why I think Wes Welker has Irish skin.
Well done, because
Thank you.
I wasn't going to be able to bring that back.
And scene.
Let's close the show up with something I call Fumbler. I like to talk about what's going on the internets.
You got the mastery of the interwebs
I
going on, right?
I did 6 years in the mines of the blogging world, and I've now emerged into the daylight, as you can see from my pale pallor. But I do want to talk about the Harlem Shake. And this is something that you've missed while seeing your wife give birth and change diapers a lot. But I'm impressed. I don't actually like the Harlem Shake videos very much, but I like the way that it has, like any virus, it is mutated. It's gone from this 15 seconds of a person doing this stupid little hip dance and then suddenly when the music drops at the 15-second mark, then it's like the screen is filled with people dancing. And now it's mutated onto this thing where that music for the Harlem Shake is getting pasted on to other famous viral videos. And Leanne, if you can roll this. Oh, wait. Before we start, for those of you listening to the audio feed, this isn't going to do much for you. You're just going to get 30 seconds of synth-heavy dance music.
But we would recommend that you do your own Harlem Shake wherever you happen to be at this given time.
Thank you, Nick.
Please do not hold SB Nation Studios responsible for any
injuries,
any collateral damage.
Yeah. All right, Leanne. Let's hit it. The boat. Have you seen this video?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, you're about to get...
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, this boat crash is one of the better animated GIFs or GIFs on the internet too. So you should check that out.
That video is the hashtag of that is the visual embodiment of every troll's comment of hashtag PWNED.
Oh yeah,
that guy, the bald guy up front.
I can watch his sunglasses fly off and him slam into the deck every day. It's great.
He looks like every jackass you ever see in like a Brazzers, like.
Not that we know what Brazzers is.
Not that I have friends who spend time at home that are bloggers / voiceover artists / sports fans who just kill time by watching adult entertainment in between diaper feedings and writing for their blog. And imagine if they saw bald guys wearing Oakleys.
Oh man, yeah. So I gotta say, I didn't love the Harlem Shake for the first week. That was a big deal, but this new mutation of it, I like where it's going.
Me too.
I hope that. I actually hope that we see more of it.
I'm in. Cosign.
All right, Nick. This has been too much fun. I could keep on going, but we're at our allotted time. Programming note before we close the show.
Yes.
Next week is a post-Oscars special. Our guest will be William Leach, formerly of Deadspin fame, now a movie reviewer. And also a sports writer for the New York Magazine, previous guest of
I enjoy his movie reviews.
Yeah.
See, there's a guy, crossover appeal right there. Will Leach, Cardinals fan of legend. Great sports writer and also a fine movie critic.
It turns out that just because you specialize in one thing doesn't mean that you can't also be good at other things.
You know, when I saw that Taco Bell commercial and it told me to think outside the box, that's when the game changed.
I thought you were supposed to think outside the bun.
Damn it.
There goes your Taco Bell money, sir.
Point Ufford.
All right, we're going to get some Doritos Locos Tacos. Nick Stevens is on Twitter at Ahoy Nick Stevens. You can also see him online at the CBS Sports web series Tailgate Fan. Look up Fitzy Fitzgerald for his other YouTube channel. See you around, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. I'll catch you in the neighborhood.
All right, this is
you,
fun.
the dog, and the wife. Take care.
Catch you next week, folks.